The New York Jets have went all in for the upcoming 2024 season. Well, actually, we thought they were going all in last year in 2023, but 4 snaps into the season, everything flipped on its head for New York when Aaron Rodgers went down with a torn Achilles against Buffalo. And the Aaron Rodgers-less Jets were stuck in purgatory with really no way of getting out without their future Hall of Fame quarterback. But now it's 2024, and Aaron has fully recovered from his Achilles injury, and New York looks primed to be one of the top squads in the entire AFC. But of course, there's more to the Jets than just Aaron Rodgers, so let's take a brief look at the most important pieces of the puzzle for the Jets in 2024. Now, I said there was more to the Jets than just Aaron Rodgers, but I do want to start by talking about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's the quarterback, and that's the most important piece to a team. And of course, in 2024, Aaron Rodgers is going to be 41 years old, and typically in the NFL, 40-plus-year-old quarterbacks really aren't a thing. That isn't something that really happens. I know Tom Brady just did it a few years ago. He was playing at 44, 45, whatever he was at the end there, and still playing decently and whatnot, but typically that isn't a real thing that happened. He might be the best quarterback to ever throw a football. I mean, you could say that. If that was your argument that Aaron Rodgers was the greatest quarterback to ever spin a football, I mean, I don't know if I could disagree with you. But he is 41 years old, and I mean, think about these last couple guys think about Big Ben. Think about what you thought of Big Ben at the end. It was really gross. It was not good. He was a skeleton of his former prime playing days. Think about Peyton Manning at the end. I know they won a Super Bowl, but they won a Super Bowl on the back of their defense. I mean, people were clowning Peyton's noodle arm there at the end. He couldn't even get the ball down the field very well. And of course, that's not saying that that's what's going to happen to Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to have anything left in the tank. He could absolutely turn back the clock and be maybe not a prime Aaron Rodgers, but an insanely good version of Aaron Rodgers, for sure. But we need to put it in perspective. He is 41 years old. Like I said, going into 24, he's 41. That is no small feat, and if he does play well, that will absolutely be something to be talked about. I think longevity in the game of football is something we don't value enough. People want to say Tom Brady is the GOAT because of his Super Bowl victories. I mean, I would say his longevity was more impressive. I understand Super Bowl victories, Super Bowl wins are what you're shooting for, but that's a team achievement. He certainly didn't do that by himself, but playing for 20 years in the NFL at the quarterback position, that's impressive. That's something very impressive. Rodgers has an ability here to do something similar and play into his 40s and hopefully play well. And I mean, last time Aaron Rodgers was a starter and started all 17 games in 2022 with Green Bay, they went 8-9 and they missed the playoffs. We all remember that Lions game at the end of the year. They couldn't quite get the job done and they missed the playoffs. That was the last time, and that was a few years ago now. So let's keep that in mind. Let's keep everything in perspective. Aaron Rodgers could absolutely have a fantastic year, but it's going to be an uphill battle, and a whole lot of their eggs are in the Aaron Rodgers basket. So if it's going to go well, he needs to be a net positive for them. They didn't get anything out of the quarterback position last year, so just being maybe even not a net positive, if he can just play a league average quarterback at age 41, I think that would be a very good formula for the Jets to be a winning team in 2024. Now let's get into the meat of this team. The defensive side of the ball is where it really all happens for this team. Think about Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner is the best cornerback in the NFL right now, the way I see it. I don't think there's anybody better. He's physical. He is very good at the catch point, very good with the ball in the air. He's very good. He's just such a good corner, and he's good enough to win DPOY this year. He's good enough to be the defensive player of the year at corner this year in 2024. He's that good. Like, they have an absolute superstar in Sauce. And then Quinnen Williams is another, maybe not a defensive player of the year candidate, but I mean, Quinnen Williams he's a menace. He is an absolute menace. Williams is one of those guys on the interior that you hate to go up against if you're an opposing offense. And especially getting pass rush from the interior is so valuable. Just compressing the pocket for the quarterback, up the middle, right where their feet are, right where they're dropping back. It's just so valuable. I mean, of course, you like edge rushers as well, but Quinnen Williams in the middle does as good of a job as anyone in the NFL in the middle of the defensive line, and just generating pressures and being just really a menace. If you go watch the guy, he's a menace. That's the best way I can describe Quentin Williams as a football player. And then the defense, the rest of the guys, the surrounding pieces, I guess. C.J. Mosley going into his age 32 season, age 32 or 33 going into this year. C.J. Mosley is a fantastic glue guy that's going to, really just make sure the show runs as it's supposed to. C.J. Mosley is that kind of guy in the middle. He can wear the green dot, call the plays, articulate what's going on, what needs to happen to make the team successful. Really, really like C.J. Mosley in the middle. Tony Adams is another guy I know a ton of Jets fans loved going into last year and played a lot of games for him this past year. And Tony Adams is another guy on the up and coming, on the rise, on the up and coming, whatever you want to say. Jermaine Johnson is another guy trending up. And that's really, that's three. We just talked about C.J. Mosley, Tony Adams, Jermaine Johnson. That's three levels of defense. That's your linebackers, your defensive line, your safeties. That's every level of the defense. They have great surrounding pieces. I would say those three pieces are great surrounding pieces of Sauce, Quentin Williams, and the superstars in the defense. So the defense will be good, and they will probably be a top 5 unit. I hate to predict that a team is that good, a top 5, top 3 unit, whatever, but the Jets are going to be legit on defense, and that's kind of why there's so much on Aaron Rodgers in the offense to just produce just a little bit for this defense. They've been putting so much out on the field whenever they had Zach Wilson at quarterback, and think about some of the other guys they have had, spot start for them. And this defense has been through the defense has been through hell and back the last few years, and they deserve just a decent offense because they're going to do their part in 2024. And finally, I just want to address maybe the elephant in the room of just, can 2024 be normal for the Jets? Just make it an average season, make it a normal NFL team season for the Jets, and I think that would be. I think that's really all they need, and they would be probably one of the top teams in the AFC. Don't have your quarterback get hurt 4 plays into the season. Have your defense be a top tier defense that can carry you with a normal offense that scores points at least an average rate. They just need 2024 to be normal. Don't have anything crazy happen. I didn't even talk about Garrett Wilson in this video and some of these other Breece Hall, and I haven't talked about even the offense in this team. We only talked about Rodgers and the defense and whatnot. They just need everybody to stay healthy. And like I said, it kind of just sounds weird, but just be normal. Just don't have anything crazy go on. Don't do anything stupid. Like, this team could be very good with just running the ball and having Aaron Rodgers hit a few of these plays. He's going to be able to understand coverages, and he's going to be able to, Aaron Rodgers is always going to be able to hit a few plays down the field and whatnot. But this team could be very good with just having Rodgers turn around, hand the ball off, being a run-heavy team that plays good defense, plays field position. They can win a ton of games that way. And if Aaron Rodgers can come into the fold and be, like I said, a net positive even, a net neutral, net positive, he could be, this could be a very good team. This could be a very good team if it's just a normal season for 2024. But, of course, if you're a Jets fan watching this video, from past experiences that it isn't always easy for the Jets to be normal. So we'll see what that means in 2024. And I know I am very excited to watch this team. Of course, they are in an extremely tough division, playing Buffalo, playing the Dolphins. Buffalo winning the division the last almost handful of years. Miami coming onto the scene as of late after adding Tyreek Hill, signing Waddle to this big deal. They have Tua up on, going to be up on a contract. Ton of guys to pay there. The Dolphins, very, very dangerous team. The Bills have proved that they are a dangerous team. So being in a tough division and a tough conference at large for the Jets as well, it will be something that could maybe cause for concern for yourself. Like if you're thinking about what can the Jets be this season, they play the Chiefs, or the Chiefs are in the same conference as them. The Chiefs just won the Super Bowl last year. The Ravens are a very, very good team. They were just in the AFC Championship game last year. Like I said, we already talked about the division. That's 4 teams right there that might be better than them, and maybe not. Like I said, the Jets could be better than all those teams that I just talked about. But that's 4 teams you could say, well, those are probably 50-50 games if we would play them in the playoffs or something like that. Those would be 50-50 games that could go either way. Yeah, they just need 2024 to be a normal season, and I think they can compete with all those top-tier teams. And for the Jets' sake and for the Jets' fandom's sake, hopefully it can be that way, and hopefully 2024 can be a successful season for the Jets. The New York Jets are in a very interesting and really unique situation. They are one of the few teams to make a trade for a future first-ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. Of course, this isn't New York's first experience like this. Back in 2008, they brought in future Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre. The Favre-led Jets couldn't quite get to the top of the mountain with their aging superstar, so now 16 years later, they're trying their luck again with another disgruntled Packers quarterback. But really, Rodgers doesn't even need to be in his prime form like the early 2010s. We watched this team in 2023 win 7 games with a very much a net negative at quarterback. So if Rodgers, at age 41, can give the Jets just average quarterback play, it will make for a very interesting race in the AFC. And if he turns back the clock in 2024, there's really no limit to what New York can accomplish this season. If you enjoyed this one, check out the rest of my team overviews I've done on the channel so far, and hit that subscribe button while you're over there, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.